Welcome back to another Lions War video. We have 4 Loki versus the Matrix, and they banned Kingpin, Scorpion, and Ghost. It's the first time we haven't seen Shuri banned all season, and that will come into play this war. So for my team, I'm actually taking in Shuri is going to be on my team. I actually had a choice between Shuri and OG Iron Man, Professor X, and I'm also bringing in Wags. So I'm going to be taking some fights with X, obviously, and I had a choice between OG Iron Man, and I was gonna take an APOC mini on One Eyed Open, but I was also debating using Shuri because I have a Sauron, and I wasn't sure which way to go. But then after we finished our assignments, I told Andy, I was like, hey, Shuri can work for the boss. So he threw me on there, and I was like, great. That's awesome. It's a Titania rank 3 boss with 1,000,000 health. So I was eyeing it already before, with a different attacker, but when I realized that Shuri was unbanned, I said, go ahead. So I have Path 8 in Section 1, I have this Kingpin, and then I have this Nova, who is metal, and it's on this buff. They lower your ability accuracy when they have more buffs and stuff like that. So I'll be taking Professor X with or into Kingpin, and then Wags into Nova, and Shuri for this Sauron, who's rank 2, unduped. And then right after, I have an Atuma. I'll be taking Professor X into, and I'll be using a White Magneto pre-fight here so I can parry. And then I don't have any mini fights that APOC is being taken by an OG Iron Man. I'll be taking the Sassy mini, and then I will be taking this boss. So those are the fights I'll be taking. Let's get into the first one. So the first one is this Kingpin on Path 8, and the thought process here is I'm going to use a White Magneto pre-fight, and I can parry him, so he won't shrug the passive stun. But I'm using class boost because I am going to go through all my Professor X fights, at least right now. But I don't want to knock him down. I'm going to let my Sig just naturally kind of take me to like 75 or around there, and then I'll start the ramp. And the reason is because every time I knock him down, he's going to gain a cruelty buff, and that's going to make him essentially kind of hit harder. You see right here, I don't take a lot of damage while I parry. It's perfectly fine. He also obviously has less of his debuff, so he does less damage and less combat power. But I'm really just kind of gonna have him throw his special ones and just build my mind control naturally. I mean, even my basics right now boosted did 30% damage before he throws his first special one. So I'm really not too worried. I probably could have charged this a little bit sooner in his best SB1 animation, but it's fine. He gets that cruelty, and you see through the block he did quite a bit of damage, and I was like, okay. At this point, I'm like, he's almost dead, so I'm gonna manually trigger my mind control, and that will give me enough for another SB2 with the power backs, and he's dead. I didn't need to go to an SB3 with his health pool being what it is. So that was easy peasy. I did not throw recoil on just yet, but I did want to run my class boost for that fight and for this fight. That's why I'm taking all of these together, because Wags does well with the power backs. Now Nova is metal, so his ability accuracy will be reduced by 70%, and I'm running max petrify and pacify to reduce his power gain when stun and his ability accuracy when stun. So the goal here basically is to kill him and get two more, or I'm gonna get 3 persistent charges per his Sig, being metal and winning the fight. So I really just want to bait SB1s, and he's gonna shut off his abilities just with his AAR, and I throw the first special one to get the armor break, because I want to want to see if I can get to a special 2, and it can do more damage, and then I can get double the damage over time effect. So at this point, I'm like, okay, he needs to throw this special 1, and he does. And I'm looking at the armor break, and I'm like, all right, I think I have enough time here, and I do. I throw it, and I get the 2 degens on him, and they're ticking for 1.3. And at this point in the fight, I'm like, okay, I know I can dex the special 1, but he's almost dead. And so if I bait it, I'm just gonna get into the block and not risk basically, you know, messing it up. So at this point, I'm gonna throw the special 2, and he dies, and it's, you know, easy peasy lemon squeezy. So super simple fight, and it went down really smooth. So next up, I have the Sauron, and at this point, I changed my masteries. Well, actually, I had them already changed. I had points in collar tech, and I really, she can block unblockable specials, so that's not really what I was worried about. But the goal basically here is to, when he gets his unblockable, you know, ready right there, to make sure that I bait it out. I use my untouchable to hopefully use it to bait. I can just stand there and he'll miss. But at this point, I parry twice to get my untouchable back, throw that heavy, but because he has 10 prowess, he actually inflicts a bleed through the block. I didn't realize that before that. So in the fight, I was a little confused on why I was losing health, but this does have a protection node, so my damage is gimped when it comes back, and it actually gets removed when you knock him down. So here I bait this special 1, I take it in the block, and again, I didn't realize why I lost that health initially, so I was like, you know what, just block it. The thing about being rooted for Sauron is that, you know, you want to dex that first hit typically, and you're already across the screen. So I'm using my untouchable basically to not eat it accidentally, and that's what I'm building out my matrix charges with parries, and then his unblockable wears off, and I can just kind of hit him and he dies. So kind of straightforward fight, but you do want to watch a few things, and I even lost track of one of his mechanics. I will remember that for next time. But now I threw on max recoil because I'll be taking that sassy later, and I still have my class boost on. I'm using a power start 1 that I'm going to hopefully use into Sasquatch. And so the plan here basically is to parry heavy. I'm gonna beat him at the race to an SB3, even if I push him that far. But I am gonna try to bait that SB1. If I do, you know, I'm already at 2 bars. He's at 1, right? If I do push him higher, it's fine, because per my sig, I get more potency on my prowess, the more power they have. Right there, I use my falter to get a long charge, and I'm fully ramped at this point. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to use combos and then get to an SB3. I use a heavy to push him away, and I heavy charge into my special 3. And like I said, I'm running 3 out of 3 in recoil right here. I only have 1 charge from the Kingpin fight. This will give me a second one. So I'll have 3 going into the Sasquatch mini, who is a beefy mini actually. He has about, I think, 700k health, which was surprising. I think I took one a few wars ago and it didn't have that much. So I don't remember if that one was an R3, but this one definitely is an R3. So that was a tumor right there, super straightforward, and it only took a minute. So I saw that, I'm like, all right, let's get to this fight. I need to drop the white magneto pre-fight and then back out of the screen to make sure that it sticks. And I'm just checking that my boost is still active. I have 44 seconds or 14 seconds on there, I'm not sure what it was, but I had enough time. So I go in there, and the reason I like the white magneto pre-fight here is because I get a longer charge on my heavy, so I can ramp up my mind control much faster. So again, the power start 1 is going to mean that I get to my special 3 faster than he does, and I want to do that because once he goes into wrath, then he can spam specials because of power reserve. You see how he doesn't lose any power there, but he loses less power in wrath. So I'm like, okay, now I'm at 100 charges. I throw this and I heavy charge into my special, and it's Jover. This Sasquatch is basically done. So yeah, you know, I'm pretty sure I could get him down without the special 3 if I just throw it right under 3 bars. But this is just super safe. This is just super safe, and it's not really that much slower, to be honest with you, because he does so much damage with his special 3. I think he's doing over 200k damage on the special 3. So here I throw this last one, and I believe this last one kills, and then we are going to get to the boss. Yeah, this one definitely kills. So that went down. So you did the 200 plus K per special 3. Now I have this Titania Boss, and I have I placed my last white Magneto pre-fight on her. I rearranged my masteries actually. I'm only running at 12% because I'm going to be spamming special 1s, and I want whatever extra damage I can get. Indestructible boost. This node has bubble shield. I have Odin's on here, although it doesn't really help Shuri too much. Just in case I get hit, I guess, by a special. But I'm running max collar tech. I have no points in the precision tree because she doesn't crit anyways, and she's guaranteed to crit on her special 1s in which she gets crit those precision charges. So the plan basically is to start out the fight and wait out the first haymaker. And the secondary after that, then the plan is to control spacing. I want her on her side of the screen as much as possible, because when she actually is going to get her haymaker back, I want space to dance, right? I want space to dance in her specials. Obviously, I want to make sure that I'm blocking them. See right there, she threw it, and she's already on her side, so I can back away, and I do this thing where I back away and I hold block, and then I back away and I don't, and the AI kind of just sits there and dances with you. So as this is happening, I'm spamming my special 1s, and I'm keeping an eye on bubble shield. So I take one hit, and hopefully she throws a heavy, and then I dash away, and then I'm watching my power, because I do want to push her ideally to a special 2, just because I feel more comfortable with that first hit, dexing it and holding block after. And so at this point she has her haymaker, and I'm like, okay, if I can use my relic is basically my safety net to hit her and then get a heavy in if my shocks are going to be falling off. I have that's the majority of my damage here. Those shocks are doing some 3k ticks, so 6k every second, and it just keeps growing the more specials I throw. Looking back at this fight now, what I probably should have done at this point is I could have heavied and converted those 14 shocks, right? Like 14 critical shocks, added 14 more critical shocks. But at this point, she throws this, and I get hit dashing back, and I'm like, oh. And I lose track of bubble shield here. I hit once, I meant to bait a heavy, but she hits me. She did not throw a special 1 into my face, which would have been horrible. But I do get to throw my special 1 and refresh my shocks, and now the fight is done. Now I'm like, okay, everything's fine, just keep track of this, throw the special 1, and it's only to buy time, really. I'm letting the shocks really melt, and I'm gonna push her back because her haymaker's coming back. She throws a special 1, and I'm like, perfect, I can throw this combo and kill her. So that fight went okay. I should not have lost track of bubble shield, but ultimately got the solo, and ultimately we got the win. Shout out to Karate Mike, Trappy, and the B Manny for MVPs, and we will see you in the next one.